here. Okay. I think I have my notes in order.
Yay!
I have stuff to talk about.
Yay! I hit record a while ago. Uh, it's,
All right,
hmm,
you gotta give me an indication there. I was just trying down my notes so I actually know what I'm
I mean,
talking about here.
in fairness, I truncate the silence, so it's gonna be like normal for anyone listening to this. It's just gonna be like checking my notes, and there we go. And then I hit record, by the way, and that's how it's gonna start, with no like 10-second pauses between.
Well, there you go.
It's almost like I somehow was forced to learn how to edit audio, and it didn't go very well, but I tried.
Well, it's really not that hard. You just cut here, you staple that there, and there you go.
Okay, let me put it another way. It's almost like I had to learn how to edit audio without it taking multiple hours and just using shortcuts, which is a thing that you
Yeah.
can do and works, but is insufficient perhaps when certain things are. When, say, someone's microphone decides. Well, rather, when someone's browser decides that the microphone is too loud and needs to be turned down, for the betterment of everyone, it decides in its own, you know, it's just, this is just better for everyone. I don't really care that you're recording this. Says the browser. It's just like this might be slightly uncomfortable for other people listening. So I'm just gonna do that, and you're gonna thank me. So you're welcome. Yeah. So this was Casey role playing his browser for about a minute for some reason. But yeah, that if people hated the audio in the last one, for you 10 people that listen to the podcast, then that's why it was bad.
Oh, um, well, we'll probably have it fixed this time, and it won't be terrible, and everything will be fine. So we just keep moving forward. It's
I
not the
mean,
first time we've had bad audio.
no kidding. I mean, I can hear myself fine in my headphones, which was not the case last time. So you know,
Good sign.
fucking Opera GX. Who the fuck said I wanted you controlling my microphone volume? Anyway, uh, yeah, the fuck, right? We record a podcast. That's what we do, and we talk about shit
Yeah, we
that we have
yeah,
done and seen and things and what's it.
yeah, and all sorts of stuff.
Do you have what's it in
I
your country, by the way?
who's it and what's it?
No, just what's it. It's
Uh,
a brand of like I want to say crisps, chips, fucking Yanks, but yeah, just like corn ones that are like puffy and stuff, and just, like
mhm.
no.
I mean, we have like stuff that's puffy, but it's not called what's its or whatever. But I mean, the puffiness is just so that way you can get basically nothing with no nutritional value that will just evaporate as soon as you eat it. Um, and then they charge you a lot of money for it
I will.
because he,
Yeah, I will image.
because okay, that's just Cheetos.
Is it?
That's just puffy Cheetos.
Yeah. Then they're not crunchy, which I believe Cheetos are. Not that I have had them. I might have had them. I don't remember. There was a time when I was very big on like trying out American snacks. Generally underwhelmed. To be perfectly honest.
If you have any of our ultra processed snacks, it's generally terrible, and don't eat it. Don't eat it at all. They design food so that it dissolves in your mouth so fast that it doesn't actually trigger the part of your like body that says, "Hey, maybe I'm full or maybe I'm sated." So you keep eating,
Mm.
and it's meant to be addictive and horrible for you because they can get away with it. So, yeah, yeah, we don't have a lot of good snacks from like the big brands. You have to go to the the sideways brands that people don't talk about to get anything good.
Mm, yeah. They did start
Which is something
selling,
I've had to learn.
like, I think it's Cheez-Its here, which was not a thing
Yeah.
previously. That is a very new thing, as far as I am aware, in this country. They're okay. Just like little cheese cracker thingies.
There's cheeses that I like, and there's certain varieties that I enjoy. But like, I don't know. Ever since I've been on my like health kick, I've been trying to not eat the typical like Cheez-Its or Goldfish or Cheetos or Doritos or any
Mm.
of that stuff.
Mm. It has gotten to the point where I buy like, I don't know, 5 packs of snacks over the course of a month, and will
Hmm.
just no impulse control. So if suddenly I decide, hey, I really fancy this or that or whatever I have in the cupboard, that's gone within the next 24 hours. But then it's also not a problem anymore. So I don't get the craving because I don't have it and I'm not going to go to the shop. So
Yeah,
I don't
works
know.
out.
Is that a functional system? I don't know.
I've just been like, if I'm gonna buy snacks, I'm gonna buy healthier snacks, and I'm gonna make them harder for me to get to intentionally.
Mm,
Because, like, obviously, impulse control is an issue, but like, if it's nearby and easy for me to get, I will just keep snacking and it will be gone. If I make it like deliberately more of a pain to deal with, I'm not gonna actually go for it unless I'm actually hungry.
mm.
That's my thinking, at least.
Yeah, that has been the deliberate choice I've started doing my best to make. Is like, okay, 3 square meals a day. That is your limit. You get to eat breakfast. Hooray! Breakfast is really nice. I like breakfast. Breakfast is fun.
Hmm.
You get lunch because breakfast will make you hungry later in the day. That is how that works. You eat breakfast, and your body decides, hey, we have food available to us, so we should eat it when we need it. And if you don't eat breakfast, it's like, oh, we don't have food. Time for starvation protocol. And it stops telling you that you're hungry. Yeah. So breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, and that's it. You get meals. That's it. No snacking. Is what I'm very very deliberately trying to do.
Yeah, I was like iron like tight on the like only eating 2 meals a day and having the like focus on I'm gonna do only lunch and dinner and that's it. And then I was like, this is kind of I don't like the side effects, so I'm just gonna count my calories and eat better, and then I'll
Mm,
be able to have 3 meals a day and maybe a
yeah,
snack or two.
yeah. It's just a matter of having reasonable meals spaced out throughout the day rather than cutting meals. Cutting meals is generally not the best approach.
Intermittent fasting can be helpful, like it did help me get a better control on when I'm actually hungry,
Mm,
but like it's not something that I necessarily need to do like every single day,
mm,
you know?
yeah.
But yeah.
That's the health portion of the podcast that we apparently do every fucking recording now. It's just look, we're getting old. Um,
I went on a 2 hour walk this morning.
that's kind of I remember when I was a kid, my sister did a walkathon, which was like, hey, for charity, people are going to do like 11 mile walk, and yeah, that's a thing to do for someone who has lived a very sedentary lifestyle up to that point, and suddenly doing a lot of walking in one gigantic. Ugh. That was like,
That
I think 2 3 hours or something. It took her. Yeah, some
probably
close to
three
three
hours.
hours. Yeah,
I did 6 miles this morning, so like yeah, it'd be
yeah.
3 hours.
She had trouble walking for the rest of the day and the day after. So that's,
I had I had comp I had company visit the other day, and they wanted to go on a walk, and so I had first done my morning walk, which is around 2 miles, and they're like, okay, well, I'll walk with you, and then we go and I show them on the long walk, and like this walk that we turned out measuring was ended up being 4 miles. I'm like, oh, okay. I get back, and then she's still the rest of everybody around. They're like, hey. we went on this great walk. And they're like, hey, can you show us this walk? And I'm like, well, I can't really describe you how to get on this walk, so I will show you. I'll walk you down there. And so I did another 4 mile walk. And so I ended up walking like a total of 12 miles in that day. And I just did not want to move at all after
Yep.
that.
That's yep. Like to be clear, we are aware this is just walking that we're talking about, and yes, I am sure if we had a larger listener base, which I'm sometimes glad we don't, some very smart person would decide to tell us, hey, people do marathons all the time. That's running like 26 miles or whatever. And that's like, this is baby shit. People that do marathons have like their bodies break down by the end of it, as in they need to take medical intervention steps a lot of the time to fucking recover from that shit as soon as they finish.
To
Like,
be fair, anybody who does like a 20-mile marathon has been training for that for like a year.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's so yes, there are more extreme versions of this kind of thing. That does not make this not very intensive. Kind of amounts of exercise. It's still a lot.
Yeah, it is. And like if you I think on average, most people in America like don't even hit like 5,000 steps a day,
Mm.
you know,
I mean, you
to
you have a car nation, is what you have.
yeah. So like for a lot of people in my country, going out for a simple 30-minute walk is a huge health benefit, right?
Mm.
And for reference to kind of put this in steps right here, like 5,000 steps you can get just by moving about and doing chores and everything, but also like, actually making an effort not to be sitting for the majority of the day,
Yeah,
but to go on the mini walks that I did and like the 12 miles is like 25,000 steps.
yeah,
You know, it's a lot.
yeah. Like
Uh,
most people
yeah.
will, get up, go have breakfast, hopefully, and then get
Mm.
in the car, go to work, and sit down in an office cubicle for X hours. And then they'll get in the car, come home, and then sit and watch TV or play video games or whatever for X hours, and then go to bed. And that's not a lot of exercise. Hi, I am a person that sits at a computer chair for 12 hours a day and will occasionally get up to take a piss or make food. So prime example of how bad that is with my blood pressure medication and my fatness. So, you know, that's, but that doesn't mean it's impossible for someone like me to say, get up off my ass, and when I have a dentist appointment, hey, I'm going to walk there, and that is like a 2 mile walk there. It's very doable. Like, I'll be sweating a bit when I get there. And I
Yeah.
will not want to walk anymore when I get back, but it is very doable. And just like that is a very reasonable starting point for getting out there and getting healthy is just, hey, take half hour, just go on a walk. It's fine. Very easy.
And
Get some fresh
honestly,
air.
like you can't underestimate like the impact that walking has because people always think, well, you have to run. Well, you don't
No, no,
have
no,
to
no, no,
run.
no. Yeah.
Like if you just walk enough, that's good enough for cardio. Like seriously,
Yeah.
if you walk enough, that's fine. You could also run, but running is like really good training for running. The difference between running and walking, though, is walking you are moving for a longer period of time,
Hmm.
right? You can run for like 20 minutes, or you can walk for like, an hour. And
Yeah. There is a difference between trying to get fit and trying to get healthy.
yeah,
Like
because
you
like,
with like exercise and actual like fucking stuff that you do are explicitly trying to get fit. It's not just getting healthy.
yeah,
But like the threshold for just getting healthy and just having basic healthy exercise is actually pretty low. It is go outside for half an hour to an hour and just walk, go on a wander, go to the shops. Well, America, Car City, you don't have fucking shops like 10, 15 minutes away, but you go somewhere, find a vending machine, I guess, and get, a
I
drink, and then come back, and that is a nice, healthy, basic thing to do for, like,
I yeah. I can walk to the store. It just takes me like 30 minutes.
yeah, like it is a 5 minute walk to the shop for me. This is what I mean by car, like country, is
Hmm.
you you are not allowed to have shops within the vicinity of houses in some parts of your country, and that's fucking wild to anyone in Europe. That's just crazy talk. But yeah, just
Hmm.
going somewhere, getting something, like just give yourself a basic goal of I want to go do thing, get thing, whatever, and decide I'm going to walk to do it. And that's fine. That's it. That can be a fine starting point of hey, that's basic healthy exercise of, and it'll just feel better, honestly.
Yeah, like I started walking because I want to get healthy, and now I'm like, well, I want to go beyond that, right? I want to
Mm,
get like I like having stamina for once in my life and being able to do things like run and other things without getting winded,
mm.
and it's nice. And I want to like I don't know, I want to get strong, and then go back on the dating market and get myself a super hot girlfriend.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, I can't fault the logic. Yeah. Like that can also be the process. Like if someone is like, I want to get fit, I want to be like in really good shape, or I want to be buff, I don't know, whatever. Um, and they're not, like really, really not. Like they live like me, basically. uh, then just saying, I want to get healthy as a starting point is a really good starting point because once you start doing the very basic shit that lets you get healthy, then you'll be like, well, you might be, I'm not going to make any guarantees, obviously, but you might be like, this is fucking easy. I could do more than this. I could do more than this. And that's
Yeah, like the thing
kind
that
of what it sounds
really
like you went through,
the
honestly.
really thing that really kept me away from getting healthy for so long was I was like, okay, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to start working out, and I go running, and I go super hard on it, and then I'd be sore, and then I'm like, okay, I can't go back and do this, and it would take multiple days to recover, and then just never go back to it,
Yep.
you know. But with walking, you don't get really sore after it to the extent that like you can't do it again, like in a day or two. So why not?
Mm,
And that sort of low impact thing is a great way to build up that strength, especially it builds up like your joints and everything.
yeah.
So that's really big for being able to do, more intense stuff later on.
Mm, yeah. I happen to be in an unfortunate position at the moment, in that it is summer
Mm.
and we have somehow had a massive heat wave in May. Um, so I can't go outside at the moment.
Yeah. You should get one of those like mini treadmills where you just walk in place.
I do have one of
It's like a
those.
mini
I, I,
walk.
I have not used it. It is getting unearthed at the moment because the landlord wants the kitchen replaced.
Yeah.
So I have to clear everything out of my kitchen and make space in my living room slash office, whatever you want to call it, for my fridge and microwave. So I still have a semblance of a kitchen for the 2 weeks that this is going to take. So I've got to clear out a lot of shit and just kind of get it out of the way. And that happens to unearth my treadmill. So I'm going to be honest, in the shower when I was getting ready for recording, it was like, I have a treadmill. I could probably use it. And that would be way better than thinking about going outside and then realizing, hey, I'm going to turn crispy if I do that. I have options still, and I really should use them.
Yeah, you just walk, and then that time when you would normally just be sitting down and browsing on like whatever, you can just do that while walking.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's kind of a necessity because, like, yeah, I've mentioned blood pressure medication. That makes feet and ankles swell quite a bit, especially in hot weather, and especially if you sit down for long periods of time. So
Yeah.
it's like, no, you do some walking now and again. It's do, do. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is. Hmm. Yeah, gonna have to work on that.
Well, that's health stuff.
Health stuff. The health section of the podcast is. Let's call that concluded. I think.
Yeah. Um, do you want to go from here, or should I?
You. Can, what the fuck is Slice's logo now? Like I can see it. He's still on the server, by the way. Technically, he just doesn't really talk. Is that like bread or something?
I don't know. It's a guy. Anyway, I guess I'll go. So I I'll talk about what I've been watching lately. I went to go see the new Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, it's like a. Is it a dude or is it a dog? Sorry, I'm still stuck on this. It's like what the fuck is it? It looks like it gets.
Move past it.
It,
This is an audio show. Move past it.
that's very. That, okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair point. It's, yeah, I got
Uh,
very distracted there for a second. I apologize.
yes.
Movie.
Um, yes, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, it was it got kind of bad reviews from critics at before it came out, but once it came out, audience scores kind of went up, and I will say, um, I don't really care much for the reviews, but I will admit that I was a little bit anxious going into it. I was like, I really don't want this to be bad because I like having good movies, like fun movies that exist,
Mm.
and I like The Mandalorian. Is a cool character. Um, this movie is just a fun time. That's it. That's really all it is. It's a fun adventure with the Mandalorian and his little baby Yoda.
Mm.
That's all it is. That's all it tries to be, and that's all it wants to be, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean
I
that. My understanding is that was the appeal of the Mandalorian, the show, until the end of season two, when
mm,
they kind of concluded that story and then tried to unconclude that story in the following season. And also, Boba Fett was there and nobody cared. Uh,
yeah.
and yeah, so I don't know. I guess does it kind of feel like a going back to the thing that you liked rather than trying to shoehorn in the thing that you liked, kind of thing? Is
It
that
it felt like the thing that I liked. And what I mean by that is I think that a lot of people had expectations for the movie because, oh, this is gonna be like the future of Star Wars, or oh, this is gonna change the franchise and save it and redeem it. It's like,
no?
no,
It's going to conclude a
no.
story, basically. That's
It doesn't necessarily even conclude a story. It tells a story of an adventure of the Mandalorian and his little Yoda friend, but it's not a conclusion. It's just, hey, here's a fun adventure with stuff that we can do because we have the funding of a movie.
mm,
And I went out of that, I was like, why there should need to be more movies that are just like this, where it's
mm,
just this is a fun adventure. It's tells a story being mill and it's not trying to be part of a larger like franchise. It's not trying to launch three different spin-offs or anything, you
yeah.
know.
I
It's just a
think
fun movie.
Yeah, I think I saw something recently. I think it was posted in our server, but I can't remember. Of like, I think it was the writer for Andor,
Yeah.
and they said something like, when you get a franchise and you're writing for a franchise, it's like you get access to a toy box, and your first instinct is going to be just open the toy box, reach in, and look at all the things that you can play with, and the first instinct is to play with all of them, and that can be like an actual damaging thing to do for your story, and that what you want to do ideally is to finish what you're doing with more toys in the toy box than when you started.
Mm.
Was I think how it was phrased, and yeah, just the thing about writing for a franchise is I think you do have to be conscious of the toys that are already in the toy box and what the framework of that whole thing is, and then it's on you to add to it. Like that is the opportunity that you are granted, is to add something to the thing that already exists and make it more than it already is.
So, exactly. The premise of this movie is very simple. Mando is going through and trying to hunt down remnants of the Empire. And in order to find out the location of some of these remnants, he needs to take on a job from the remaining Hutt twins,
Hmm.
and things go rapidly awry. Um, but he has to go and retrieve the son of Jabba the Hutt, Rada the Hutt, who is an amazing character, and I love Rada the Hutt. I love this buff Hutt guy who is like, I don't want to be like my father,
That's fair.
and is like kind of a gentle giant, but also like a fierce warrior. And I
That's
I
that's
appreciate the
kind of
character
fucking
writing.
cool. I'm not gonna like. That's yeah. I feel like the idea of Jabba the Hutt just kind of got copy pasted onto every single Hutt. That is just what they are in most of the franchise. So the idea of one that is like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna be cool, big badass,
Yeah.
is kind of awesome.
He's buff, he wields two axes, and he's like always like playing around or being kind to little baby Yoda. And he's like, I am not my father, who, would eat small creatures just because he can. And so it's a really nice sort of difference of character, and it's really refreshing. And while he does speak in the Hutt language at some points, he most of the time he speaks in like, you know, English or whatever the
Uh,
common equivalent in that
Galactic
world. The
Basic, I think, is the language
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
yeah, he's speaking in an understandable voice, and it allows you to really appreciate the voice acting and the nuance of the character. Um, and so he's a huge part of it, and I really like him and the sort of team he makes with Mando and Grogu. Uh, but it's a fun adventure with fun characters, and there's not a single lightsaber that shows up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just a fun movie, and I left it being like, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I feel like there's too many movies that try to go beyond being just a fun movie and try to like do too much.
Mm.
This doesn't do too much, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
It's it's a weird state of media discourse that we have reached, where just I have not like I I don't think I would have ever imagined the complete like separation of critic reception and audience reception that we see in almost everything nowadays. It's kind of crazy.
There's a lot of movies that I've been watching recently that like they come out and it's just that's a fun movie. Critics hate it
Mm.
because it's not saying something deep, but like it
Mm.
doesn't have to.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing about that, and I kind of feel like when the critics really love something, it's like, yes, this is saying something deep and important, and it is the most basic, in your face, almost propagandist, like didactic storytelling you could possibly imagine. It is like, this is good and this is bad. Do you understand, audience? We are going to spoon feed you this message. And critics are like, oh my god, this is brilliant. This is amazing. What incredible and brave and bold stories. No, it's just fucking basic and preachy. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, Mandalorian and Grogu has a very basic theme, and that is the idea of fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
You have Mando and Grogu, but then you also have Rada the Hutt, who's dealing with the trauma of who his father is and the shadow that he leaves. And that's good enough for a thematic through line that like is compelling. You don't need more than that.
Yeah. It's sometimes all a story needs to get its message across is an example.
Hmm.
And that's it. You don't have to tell the audience what the message is. They can watch the story and be like, yeah, that's cool. This is what being a dad is to an adopted child. This this
Hmm.
is this is good and this makes me feel good, and if I did this, this is how I would want to be. That's all it needs to be sometimes. It's just like, hey, this is good and this feels bad, and that there is the message.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be spelled
Uh,
out and stuff.
yep. Basically. On the other end of other things, I'm going to be going to see more movies this upcoming week because I am currently uh free for the summer. So,
Yeah.
hooray!
Your school year is weird, but okay.
It's yep. Well, my even my school year, my particular school is different from other schools, so yeah. But it was my last day recently, so I am now out for the summer. I'm going to be
Yes.
doing some summer school teaching, but that's only going to be half day and only for 2 weeks.
Summer holidays are literally summer holidays in your neck of the woods. It's wild.
Yeah, and you know what? Um, so actually, let me go back to the thing I was going to mention. So next week, I'm going to go see the back rooms on Tuesday.
Okay. I will be
Since
interested to hear
that's
about that one because
uh,
it's a weird whole thing that I did not get into. I'm just know tangentially, so I'm curious.
I got into the back room stuff a while ago, but it was like it started with mild curiosity, but over time I really enjoyed a lot of the creativity that people brought to the whole liminal space type thing. It creates a
Sorry. That is one of the things that I know about the back rooms is that liminal.
um the thing about liminal space is it like really creates a very bizarre sort of nostalgia feeling for a lot of people. Um in particular, there's a lot of liminal spaces in America, for example, because we have a lot of spaces that are too big for their own good.
Mm,
And just that kind of feeling there. It's not just for like one country though. It's something that
yeah,
extends beyond that.
what I meant more than like just liminal spaces in terms of nostalgia is a bit of a different thing because backrooms is what people think it does is liminal horror, which is a slightly different thing. In that liminal horror is this feels slightly wrong. Like this place I'm in or this experience I'm having, something is unnerving me about it. There is no actual danger here at all, as far as I can tell. But something about where I am and what I'm doing is triggering my monkey brain danger warning signs, and I am uncomfortable. Whereas
It's
the back rooms, a lot of the time, it's there's a monster in this weird space, and that's not the same
well,
thing.
okay. I have a very nuanced take on this. The back room, like the liminal spaces of the back rooms, has a really dreamlike quality. And the best stuff that I have seen for backrooms related stuff is stuff that features no monsters whatsoever. It's just like the place itself is almost like an entity on its own, something that is incredibly impossible to understand. And in that case, the horror in that case comes more so from the world rather than ooh spooky monster. You
Mm,
know,
yeah,
I
and that's
tend
fair enough. Like that's a thing about the back rooms. Again, for saying that I only know it tangentially, this is a hell of a thing for me to just sort of go on about it. But just like it just sort of evolved, and it's just teenagers being creative, right? It's just a thing that people add to as they feel like it, and that's fair enough. And that means you're going to get stuff that is like, ooh, spooky monster in a weird place, and then you're also going to get, oh, this is that weird, unnatural, slightly offbeat feeling that doesn't actually expand beyond that kind of thing. You're going to get a mixed bag in that sense.
I feel that the backrooms is the least interesting when there's a monster in it that's chasing you. I think that that takes away from the entire actual appeal of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a difference between I am deeply uncomfortable and this is a weird and somewhat unique feeling. You can experience it in real life. I have experienced it in real life of
Hmm.
just like that sort of experience of I feel like things are going in a weird direction and I'm very uncomfortable and don't feel secure because I'm sort of in between. Yeah, it's a weird thing that you can experience in real life, and this is sort of a supernatural, like outside reality kind of thing that the Backrooms tries to do. But the thing is, you have a monster. Okay, that is a clear and present danger that you can quantify. It might be weird, but you can quantify it. This is the threat, and I can put my danger concern in this little box of monster. Whereas if you don't have a monster, you just have that unknown, unknowable unease, which is it's kind of the unique aspect that makes it interesting.
Yeah, it's we'll see how the movie is because I get the feeling they'll do the monster thing, but like
The guy that made the film was a guy. I
yeah,
believe he made the original video that was like the yellow space, and then there's a monster and it
yeah,
chases them out. Yeah, so it's
yes,
probably
yes,
going to
that's
do
this
the
guy.
monster thing. So
Now, here's the thing. I've seen some of his stuff, his YouTube channel, Kane Pixels. He's done some stuff with much more subtle monsters before. So I'll see how this shakes out, but I'm hoping I enjoy it at least.
yeah,
Um, I also have started watching Spider-Man Noir since that is now a show that is out, or I think it's just called Spider Noir.
yeah, the Nick
And
Cage one.
yes, the Nick
that's
Cage
that's
one.
really unfortunate that I can say, oh, the Nick Cage one, and anytime I say that, I laugh. That is unfortunate, but that is the career that that man has had.
I am watching it in black and white as it was intended to be.
Fair enough.
Please don't watch it in color. Please don't watch it. It's meant to be black and white.
Yeah,
Like you can tell watching the black and white. Yeah, they planned these shadows to work a certain way.
yeah, that is fair enough. I remember the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game. I think it was where
Me
it
too.
had
Yeah.
Spider Noir, and it was in black and white. And then you had
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, and everything was like super saturated and vibrant because it's the future, and that's what that means, I guess.
Hmm. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. Nicolas Cage as the spider detective. He's just enjoyable to watch. He's funny to watch.
It's Nicolas Cage. He's always a treat.
Yeah.
Not
I've only
necessarily in
watched
a good like quality way, but he's always a treat.
I've only just started watching it, but I am enjoying my time with it, and I'll give more updates as I get further in. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, and how they're taking lots of twists on different classic Spider-Man villains and reinterpreting them in this kind of noir setting. So, yeah, it's enjoyable. Um, uh, Aside from all of that,
Hmm.
I am near the end of Pragmata. I am right before the final boss. I've just not had the time to go in through and actually defeat the final boss. So I'll give an update on that once I'm done. And yeah, so the end of school was this week, and I've had a very busy week because you may not know this, but on the last week of school is when I have to get everything done, and I mean everything. Report cards need to be completed and then sent out. I need to fill out like the files for each student that's going to be following through to the next grade and everything. And then I have to pack up my classroom and like push all my furniture that I can to one side of the classroom so they can clean it during the summer.
Yep. Thorough clean.
Pack up all my stuff that I can. Yeah. And so it's like it's a whole ordeal. And I got lots of letters from my students,
Oh.
some which were very, very sweet and almost made me cry. Almost. Um, one of which being like, this is I had the best year with the best class and the best teacher, you know?
Oh. I was gonna ask whether anyone put 6-7 in a letter, but then I realized that meme has been dead for like a year for children. So, you know,
They got their 6 sevens out, don't worry.
god damn it. Okay.
But we had a whole bunch of activities. We had awards for um, the students. We also had like a field day where they get to go outside and do all sorts of different like fun activities organized by like fifth and sixth grade. Um, we had a whole day that was just like, let's clean up the classroom, everybody, please. We're gonna clean everything up. I need 30 helpers right now, please. Thank you. And then our final day, which was our party, and I got some really nice gifts and cards, and even like some gift cards from parents. Even got like a couple that were $100 gift cards. Like, whoa, thank you,
Hmm.
thank you for tipping your teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that last day, my boss, the principal, she came in and told me that like I had really improved and was, had heard really good things about my class and everything, and was, very, gave me a lot of praise and told me that because I'm sticking with the school for next year, I get a $3,000 stipend. So
Oh,
more money.
yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood. I had a really good school year. I'm gonna miss this class. This class was probably my sanest class that I'm ever gonna get.
Yeah, I remember last year had some apples. Uh, yeah.
Um, they're all. I have a lot of boys with files on. Oh yes, so they fight going into my class next
Hmm.
year. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, this last year, most of my boys were really chill. Next year it's going to be not the same, but
Yeah.
I
You can.
will do my best.
It is a good thing you're getting fit, so you can wrangle like 10-year-olds.
Well,
Just do the thing where you pull them off each other and just hold them up by their fucking shirt collars or whatever.
can't go doing that. Might get in trouble. I
Hmm.
cannot touch them. So, I mean, like arm hug, you know, fist bump, high five, but actually grabbing them like that, nah, it's not
Hmm.
okay. If we were 20 years ago, then maybe.
Hmm. Okay, in that case, just sort of sliding between them and just, hmm, now what are you going to do? Kind of thing. Are you going to
I
punch your
got,
teacher?
I'm much, I became much stricter this year than I was my first year of like full-time teaching. And I'm gonna have some pretty like set rules and expectations from the get-go so that I can have another year like this year. I'm not gonna let them get away with stuff.
Hmm.
I have been improving in my job to the point where I think I can handle it. It's just gonna be a pain,
Hmm.
at least in the first few months. Then we might get into a normal that's fine.
I imagine, obviously, absolutely no experience in the field, so this is as much a question as a statement. I imagine discipline is the last skill that you will learn because it is not the one that you want to instinctively use. It's like, I don't want to have to raise my voice or be strict or bring the hammer down, so to speak. I want my kids to be good and not have to worry about any of that shit. And then you reach the point where you just sort of have to. You have no choice at some point.
It's the hardest skill to really get down because it's also like you form a connection with these kids. You want them to like you,
Yeah.
at some point. But it's like, well, now I have to be strict. I have to be a little bit unreasonable because they are a child and I am an adult and they are not an adult yet. And you need to be able to set boundaries there.
Mm.
And it is not easy for me personally, it was not easy for me to be able to get to the point where I can raise my voice, shout, and like command authority in a room. Now I can do that though. And I had some kids say that I can be scary, and I'm like, that is the best compliment you've ever given me. Thank you.
I would be fascinated to watch you teach a class. Because this is just a version of you that I will probably never see.
Now, I don't tend to like to get scary, but I now have the ability to do so.
Hmm.
Um, I tend to like to, rather than shout at the kids, I tend to take the tone of a disappointed father.
Hmm.
Um, but if need be, I can like snap at them and be like, sit down, and stuff like that.
It's so weird. Okay. Not to
It's
not to make you
strange.
paranoid about it. Like it is weird to me because I just don't. It's
Yeah, you
not an
can't see it,
experience I
right?
have of you.
Yeah, and I didn't know that I had it in me either, but like it comes out. At one point you just get sick of these kids like not respecting or like shouting out. You're just like,
Yeah, fair
okay,
enough. Fair enough.
fine. I am a patient man, but I ain't got patience for people who aren't following my rules.
Mm.
If I've been telling you all year to raise your hand when you have something to say and you cannot do that, I am going to. Okay. I will not go easy.
Anything else?
Um, yeah, so since I am now free, that's when I'm going to be doing a lot of catching up on stuff, doing a lot of things, maintaining like my workout stuff. I installed new lights in my room. I posted about it briefly. So I can adjust the lighting in my room because I have a real the overhead light in my bedroom is so bright that I don't like it. If I want
Mm.
to go to bed, I like to have like a small amount of light. I had a dimmer switch in my old house. I don't have a dimmer switch here, but I thought I could do even better and get all my LED lights and stuff here so that I can like change them by color and program and adjust the intensity and everything and get it just right. Helps my
Mm.
sleeping.
Yeah.
And it looks cool. And yeah, so other than all of that, I've been reading some books, catching up on my reading list, and want to get into doing some writing stuff.
Yeah.
Like this summer is like this is the first summer where I have not had like the sword of like that one teacher test that hung over my head for a few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. That one thing that they decided, hey, you need to do this, and it's like, oh, I thought I did. Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah, so this is my first summer where I'm like actually fully free to just do whatever the hell I want. So
Mm.
like I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You did mention in the writing channel, and I gave the best answer that I had.
Yes, I have not responded to that yet because that was I posted on that like before I went to work on that day,
Mm.
and then it was
Oh yeah, no, I'm not.
then
I'm not
I
being like, oh, you. Why
yeah
didn't you respond to me? I'm just being like, yeah,
no
I did notice. Is just what
yeah
I was saying.
yeah. Thank you for responding and giving your feedback on that because I've been like I have kind of a story that I want to tell
Mm.
in like a novel format, and I've been really struggling with trying to get like a good character for it. And I'm probably gonna have to do a lot of writing to figure out what type of character I really need. Um, but like I've not been talking about it because I do my DMing and my D&D stuff. I've written multiple like short stories for my D&D setting for just character stories as practice, so I don't lose my writing touch.
Mm.
Some of which go like 50,000 words, you know, like complete story, like novella length. So I've been keeping up with my writing. It's just I won't be able to create something original, which is also why I've not gone back to like fan fiction
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've always really felt constrained with like whenever I'm doing it in somebody else's like setting or lore or whatever, I'm like, well, I have to keep it to follow these rules. And like, I know I don't have to, but I feel like that compelled to.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing for like as writing as a discipline of like you sometimes um, I'm going to just generalize because it was just generalized as I've heard it was like um, when you're creating something when you're creating art. Um, sometimes a writer can or whatever artist can absolutely flourish with no restrictions and just do crazy shit, just whole cloth, create it like top to bottom. Like, uh, I'm not going to give examples. I don't care. But like, some people just flourish under that environment, and then there are people that flourish under restrictions. Like, these are the things you can do. These are the things you can't do. Um, and yeah, like honestly, I feel like I work best under a certain rule set. I guess. Um,
Mm.
like I have done some original stuff. It's not been amazing. It's something I would like to go back to at some point. But like, um, I think what helps me personally is to have just a framework to work from, and I can then build within that framework and do some cool shit. Um, and I feel like, obviously, you know, that there is the legality rights argument that is, but that sort of thing, that sort of creativity can work well for things like adaptation. You adapt
Yeah.
a story framework. Like, there have been billions of stories based on Greek myth. Like, every single one of those is fan fiction, functionally. But
Hmm.
like that kind of thing can benefit from someone that works within a framework and can see the rules and be like, okay, these are the rules, and I will work with those, and that's fine. And some people are absolutely fucking horrible at it and just hate every second of doing something within the rules and want to do their own thing completely. And those are the people that become novelists.
Yeah. When I was first starting DMing, I started DMing in the critical role setting Tal'Dorei.
Mm,
And by the end of that game, I'd completely broken that setting as much as I could get away
yeah.
with. And I was like, I can't do this in this setting that's not mine, with these concepts and ideas that are not mine. I need something that is mine that I can work with.
Mm,
And I had the same issue like when I was writing fan fiction, right? Was like I'm writing Persona 3 fan fiction, but in order for me to make this the best it can possibly be, I need to have everything about that game memorized. You know, I need to have everything to the extent that like I feel that I am following a script in some regards. And I think that that was more my own sort of neurosis of being like, well, I don't want to go too far from the canon because I respect the canon material,
mm.
more so than anything else. And it became a shackle, which is like, I can't finish this because I don't want to have to write some of this stuff that I don't want to write because it's not mine.
You know, it's funny. Ironically, um, when it comes to the original stuff that I've written, I wrote it on commission. So um, it was someone else's idea, and it was a. I'm gonna be real with you. It was a very loose idea. They. I don't know. I only talk to them online, so it's not. But like, they gave me a setting. They gave me concepts, and they told me to go. And like, setting was fine. Okay, that's fine. The concepts made me fucking miserable. Like, no shade or anything at all to the person that commissioned it. That is my job. If you tell me to write something a certain way, I will write it that way because you're paying me and that's what I'm gonna do. But that those caveats of what type of story they wanted it to be. Like, one of them was a lit RPG, basically. And I fucking hate writing lit RPGs, man. I fucking hate it. Uh,
Best
but
lit RPGs that I have seen have discarded the lit RPG concept at some point. Just because at some point it becomes so restrictive that like the stats are meaningless. They don't matter.
yeah, I knew I didn't want to do stats and all that shit, and so I made it as lightweight as I possibly fucking could while still technically being a lit RPG, and it still felt miserable. It's alright. And again, that is my problem and nothing to do with the commissioner. This is what they wanted, and so I was writing it. And I'm really glad they stopped asking me for that one. It was rough. But yeah, I don't think that turned out very good, and it wasn't something that I wanted to write. But you know, putting all that, I think I've said enough about this commission. This is how it works. But like, just in terms
Mm-hmm.
of this is an original thing that I'm writing. Like, it's completely original, functionally. It was historical, but basically original.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have like one restriction on how I have to write this story, and that is too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see
it's
that.
that's can't for someone like as I say, I think I do well with a lot of restrictions and a framework to work from, but when I was completely free to do whatever I wanted except this one thing, I really wanted to not do that one thing.
That's funny. It's it's really I think when I have my own sort of like setting and narrative kind of like going on, like when I understand the world that I'm creating, um, it allows me to like intuitively go like, oh well, this will obviously happen here because of this is in this and this, and this is how that works, right? Um, and so if I ever am in a situation where like I don't know what would happen in this situation because I don't know what the lore would be, does this even make sense? I guess I'll just go with it. I get really uncertain in like a fan fiction sense because there's this fear with fan fiction writing where you're like, well, this is something that nobody else is going to really buy, you know?
Mm,
This is something that like I think depending on my interpretation would work, but I know other people aren't really going to agree on this. And to be honest, I'm not sure how this is going to go over and like why take the risk, right? There's a kind of that fear that sells into me.
mm,
With my original stuff, it's always just like, well, I make the rules and the rules in my head make sense and they have an internal logic and this is how I follow through it. So I understand the systems I'm working with.
mm.
Like this would happen because of this, and that makes causal sense in my mind.
Yeah.
So like I've tried to go I've had ideas like, oh well I want to go write this or oh I want to go write this like fan fiction ideas.
Mm.
And I always stop at like, yeah, but then I really have to like read everything for that setting to get a solid grasp on it. And the research element of it kind of
Oh, the fun
feels
I've had writing Code
feels like
Geass Fix.
yeah, it feels unfun with the research part,
Oh,
right? And
there is a
with code
certain point where you can be like, yeah, I've got to do the research and try and get everything right, and then you realize, oh wait, all of this is bullshit. Like none of this makes sense at all, and you just kind of have to, okay, at some point, you just have to go with what works and what doesn't, and you end up picking and choosing. Because the fun thing about like having a setting that has all this extra bullshit, 99% of people haven't read the extra bullshit. You're gonna get your rules lawyers like, actually, this is because of, and no one fucking cares.
I think I was much more of the rules lawyer type when I was younger and writing fan fiction and stuff.
Mm.
And I think that was to my detriment
Yeah,
because it restricted me.
mm, yeah,
Like this is something that I would have an issue with if I was
yeah,
reading somebody else's writing.
yeah. Just oh boy, you were one of the Dragon Ball power level guys, kind of thing.
Uh, maybe a little
Mm.
bit. Maybe. I thought about it, it's like, no,
Well, the
that tracks.
Daizenshu says.
Well, actually, but it's I've matured and now I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's
I'm
the
not.
thing. It's a framework, and frameworks can be adjusted as needed. Like there is a certain amount of bend, a certain amount of give that you can include in that. Like, and I go back to my example of like Greek myth. Yeah, you will always have a Zeus. You probably always have a Hercules, and etc. of the other pantheon and stuff. But there is so much interpretation that came from just the amount of interpretation that they had at the time that there is a lot you can do and still say it's mostly accurate. Or say you're basing it off this one obscure weird thing that happened in fucking Thebes or something from one record or one statue. And yeah, gainsay me now, fuckers. I've got historical precedent on my side, I guess. And you can just spin it
Yeah.
if you really want to, or don't, and just do whatever the fuck you want and call it an AU. Who cares?
I mean, my own original setting takes place, in the future and bastardizes a lot of different lore and mythos and stuff. But like, that's fun. It's fine. You know, the reason why you use that stuff is because of like not only is it recognizable and easy to understand, but it's also like it's fun to play with. These are fun toys to play with. A little
Hmm.
bit of Greek mythology here. That's fun, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I want to try writing of a novelization and see how that goes. It's gonna be like loosely based around the first campaign I DM'd
Hmm.
because it really set up a lot of the themes of my setting, but with like original characters and maybe not so much the player characters, right?
Yep. You, assuming you were ever to try and sell the book, you would have some rights arguments on your hands.
Yeah. So sticking just to the characters that like are mine and of which I've created a lot. Um, that's it's a challenge I'm looking forward to, and if that goes well, then I can actually go back and write the prequel that only makes sense if you've read the first book.
Hmm.
Um, because there's a lot of setup to that story, and I've already even written that was one of my like short stories that I wrote for like the setting that is essentially a prequel, but it was very much truncated so that my players would not be overwhelmed by the amount of writing I'm spamming at them and being like, "Hey, look at my cool thing I made."
Hmm.
Which I know I always tell them, this is entirely optional. I am just writing these side stories to practice my writing. You do not have to read them, but they still read them anyway because they're my friends and they enjoyed them.
Oh.
So it was very nice. And, one of my players was complaining, and, they're like, I am so obsessed with this character, but they only exist in your head, and this makes me upset. And I'm like, yeah, you should get this stuff actually out there into the world.
Hmm.
That way you can actually have a fandom for this character.
I look forward to reading it. To be honest.
If after the podcast, you ever want to know about what, like the setting or stuff, we can talk. I don't want to say anything about it right now because like my ideas, they're
Yeah.
mine.
No, that's fair enough. Like, yeah.
Um, but like the setting that I've been DMing for is like the culmination of all of my different world building attempts kind of mashed into one. And
Hmm.
it's it's got a lot to it to the point where I feel fairly confident that like I've even divorced it from like all D&D lore stuff. So
Hmm.
it's mine.
I'm gonna be real. This entire conversation is just making me want to go back to the original cyberpunk thing that I did.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
fun, isn't it? To
I
write your like original stuff.
I had fun with it. Well, I cribbed some things from other things, but yes, it was very fun, except for, again, the single caveat that the commissioner had for me. Yes, this happened twice.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just it
Well,
is
you know,
it
if you're
is it
writing it for
is
you,
an ever present thing of just like I kind of want to go back to doing this. I might put it in the Patreon thing
hmm
of just like, hey, this is an original thing and I would really like to get back to it. It is going to get a full fucking rewrite because that one thing.
dude, you should do it. I'm willing to bet there are people who would be like totally down for you to just write your original thing and see how that shakes out.
Mm,
There's a lot of authors who like self-publish on like, you know,
Amazon and
the
shit, yeah.
Amazon and everything, and they have Patreons where people will just like, you know, contribute and watch the development of the story. So, I mean, you totally can do that. You don't have to necessarily only do the writing that other people want.
I mean, I could. Well, again, that's the problem of like, hey, there is only so much creative energy that can be expended, and I'm wasting a lot of it anyway. To be perfectly honest with you, writing things that other things that I do enjoy writing. And then you've got the Patreon stuff and the commission stuff. So it's sort of like I would need to incentivize myself to write more of it, and that would be like, okay, this needs to go on the Patreon thing. Of like, hey, this will get a chapter every now and again if people want more of it, kind of thing. So what I might end up doing is just going through the chapters that I had of it. I think I've got like 5 chapters, and just rewriting it to not have the thing that was awkward and bad that I didn't know how to do in it. Like
Yeah,
that was kind of on me as much as like just not liking the restriction of like this was just a thing that I was not equipped to write. It was just and just stripping that element out and rewriting it around just the story that I was actually kind of building to. Because like
hmm
that was yeah,
yeah.
I might end up doing that.
It's it's nice though, like that. We like I have the space to really focus on being creative again,
Yep, you got like 3 months, give or take a couple weeks.
and also, you know, it'll be it'll be easier to continue working on it once I've started it.
Yeah,
That's what I think. Once I have like a sort of a rhythm and like
yeah.
an idea of what I want to do,
As
because
as the wise Tommy Wiseau once said, how do I start writing? Start.
yeah, basically, because ever since I've gone to like the healthier state that I'm in, um, I'm not really playing video games as much as I used to. Like I'm
Mm,
not playing the video games as much as I used to. Most of the time I'm either like exercising or reading, and I'm like, I want to get back into writing
yeah.
and like route it out. There's you know,
Yep.
stuff that I am. Gosh, I barely even watch anime anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's also because anime is now getting harder to watch because all the sites get taken down,
Yeah.
and I refuse to pay Crunchyroll.
Yeah. I mean, well, over here there's a bunch on Netflix, which is how I'm watching it at the moment. But well, not
Yeah,
my
there is
Netflix,
over here
obviously.
as well, but
But yeah, it's a whole thing. And also, video games. It's like, yeah, you're not playing as much video games. Video games kind of suck right now, and they're overpriced. So
there's yeah, I mean like there's some stuff that I'm excited about, but like
I
I have
not to make a
I,
tangent, but I was so excited for Lego Dark Knight, Lego Batman,
yeah,
and then I see the price tag, and it's like, what is it, £70 or something? Let me
yeah,
pull it up. It's like
it's expensive
it's
and
nonsense.
hard on your specs for your PC too.
Yeah, it's £60, which is like $80 or something,
Yeah,
and then the deluxe edition is £80, which is somewhere around $105, $110. And it's like, go fuck yourselves. This is a Lego game. Like, I'm not gonna say like Lego games aren't quality, but they are fairly shallow and straightforward games. I am not paying that for your game. Thank you very much. I that is a kind of price that I would be like, That's kind of expensive for GTA 6. I don't know. Like, that's.
Yeah,
So,
games are getting more expensive, and I have a long list of games which I own that I've not even played yet.
Yep.
Like I have a serious backlog, and like when the backlog gets too big at some point, you're just like, I just don't have the mental energy to tackle that right now,
Hmm.
and I probably won't. But this summer I'll have time at least. Like summer school is only half day teaching, and it's pretty chill. It's me and 12 kids, and we're gonna be practicing reading and writing, and like that's my strong suit. And 12 kids for like freaking 4 hours, three and a half technically.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's nothing.
easy, easy money,
Hmm.
easy money. Getting paid $40 an hour? Heck yeah. I'm
Nice.
getting like $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
So it's nice, it's chill, and I will have plenty of time because I am done by 12:30. I'm gonna be home by 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And so since I have all this time, I'm also like I'm gonna get my dad into games that are not just zombie games.
Yeah, you've mentioned you have him
Yeah.
playing Zelda.
Yes, we just booted up The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I had him run around for the first time for a little bit the other day. And I'm like, I'm not going to backseat you. I'm not going to tell you anything. I want to see you figure it out. And he was figuring it out, and he was, you know, starting to get into it.
Hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. It's probably a little bit easier for him to get into that game because it is older and it's a little bit less demanding on like certain things. Because
Yeah,
my dad,
like old dude, the hand like reactions and all the dexterity and
yeah,
stuff. It happens.
he's he's not dexterous with the controller, but he can do shooting games and stuff. So I'm like, well, you can probably handle this game, which is on its own not very demanding.
Yeah,
And making it a challenge where like you have to beat this before we go see like the Legend of Zelda movie next year, and he's like, okay, challenge accepted. So
fair enough.
yeah, it's nice. Go. I'll bring up the health thing again.
Okay.
One of the benefits of me going on the walks that I do is I'm not doing them alone most of the time now.
Hmm.
My dad has been going on walks recently, and so I'll go on a walk with my dad, and then that's just a really good time to like chat with him and like, you know, talk
Yeah.
about stuff.
Yeah.
Going on walks with other people is really, really like it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it makes a long walk take like no time at all mentally,
Hmm.
you know. So I also do enjoy uh, going on my lonesome and being like, I want to read a book and also keep my legs moving. I think when I pace, I can process things when I pace.
Hmm.
I'm just doing it well outside.
Yeah.
I back
That
in
is a
high
thing that I
school.
saw recently. Was like,
Mm,
creativity massively increases when you're ambulatory. I guess.
yes, yes. Actually, I have my best ideas when I'm out for a walk.
Hmm.
Um, back in high school, I actually mastered the ability of walking while reading a book. Like there were,
You were
I was
that guy,
always
huh?
reading a book. Yeah, I was always reading a book. And so I was walking and reading a book and going through the crowd and like not bumping into anybody and duck and like weaving around traffic while reading. And people are like, how are you doing that? I'm like, practice.
All right.
Yeah, dude, no, like high school, middle school, elementary, I read out the entire library. Like,
Yeah, I read a lot at school as well. But that's.
that's why we're on this podcast.
I mean, yeah, kind of. Uh,
All writers are avid readers. That's where it starts.
probably. Well, hmm. I mean, based on like fan fiction trends of like 20 years ago, there were there were a lot of writers that were very much watchers, uh, based on how they
And
wrote.
yeah, it shows. It shows.
Hmm.
I still remember some of those old fanfics I read, and the exact feeling that led me to writing fan fiction in the first place was anger.
Mm.
It was reading fanfics and being like, I don't like how they are writing this. I don't like what they're doing. Um,
Where they would do like they would try and frame it as if it was like a fucking episode of a show, and it's like, yeah, I I can see what you're going for. You're writing in the wrong format. Like if you're gonna do that, more power to
yeah.
you if you want to do that. But you're writing a
Mhm.
screenplay, so write it like a screenplay.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
so the one thing that
fanfiction.net did not like screenplay format.
the one thing that I think I got the most praise for when I was writing fan fiction was how I could really write in like a character's voice.
Hmm.
And that's because the thing that pissed me off the
Oh
most,
God, yeah.
more than anything else,
Mm-hmm.
was, oh, that character wouldn't say that.
Yep.
What are you talking about? That character wouldn't talk like that.
You've got all these fucking Harry Potter characters that are all like 11-year-olds and they're talking like they're fucking received pronunciation posh tough fucking assholes who like not even just received pronunciation but like talking like they're from the 14th century or some bollocks, and it's like
Yeah.
no, like this is a modern setting. Like I get that a lot of the setting is like antiquated, but that doesn't mean everyone talks like they are ye olde. Well, not even ye olde English. That's a bit much, but like yeah, just sort of forgetting what the story they're writing for is.
There's like a specific tone that I would describe as like that very much teenager thinks that they're cooler than others and they finally figured out how to use curse words.
Uh, yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You
Mm,
understand.
mm,
And I'm reading that. I'm just like, why is everybody like cursing so much in this Pokemon fic? This is Pokemon.
yeah.
They don't they don't do that. Like at least if they're gonna come up with a curse, like, you know, be creative, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I do remember when I wrote a Kingdom Hearts fic, and I was like, let's say I was writing some stuff that was,
mhm.
and despite writing some stuff that was, um, you can't swear or say dirty words. This is a Disney property.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a creative writing exercise. I have to write a scene like this, without using any naughty language. And that was a fun experiment. I think that fic I never used any kind of language at all at any point, despite being so that was a fun experiment and a fun exercise, just based like that was actually complementary to what I was actually writing, because that is the franchise.
Yeah.
If it's kind of just, let's say, all ages oriented, then you kind of have to write it like it's all ages oriented, even when it's not. So that was fun, just to try and do that. And I'm not going to say it's lazy to not do that, because it's not, you write what you're going to write and how comfortable you feel writing it. But like, it does kind of lose something in the translation of you're writing this, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like
Hmm.
the thing that you're basing it on.
When I'm reading a Persona 3 fic and all of a sudden um Akihiko is spamming the F word, that feels weird. That feels weird.
Okay, if Akihiko was going through a full fucking crash out, I could see him doing that. Like
Yeah,
of all the
but like
characters, I could see him doing that, but just
he
generally
could.
doing it, no.
He could, but in general conversation, no. Right? When like all of the characters are speaking with the same voice.
Mm. Yep.
That's the killer. That's where I'm like, this is not the character speaking. This is the author with the sock puppets.
Mm.
Um, Not even bothering to change like the accent, you know?
when a character suddenly starts speaking erudite and with perfect diction and proper grammatical speech, like the very first thing I'm going to say is that's not how people talk. And the second thing I'm going to say is that's not how that character talks.
Yes. If when I'm creating my own characters, I think about ways on how to differentiate them, especially in like a D&D setting, right? Because I'm voice acting all of them,
Mm,
right? All my NPCs.
yeah,
So I have to be able to speak in a way that it's recognizable who the character is,
yeah,
right? And that's not just like a voice acting practice or training, it's also like what type of language do they use?
yeah. That is an
Like,
important consideration for writing a character. Yes.
and I think we've even talked about this back when we were actually focused more on writing topics as a podcast
Yeah, we're a
of
writing podcast
character
this
voice.
episode.
Yeah, we are writing podcasts, and I'm glad to bring it back.
Hmm.
Um, I always like when we have a writing topic that we talk about,
Hmm.
and it's been too long since we've had some proper discussion on that.
Yeah.
But with like the character voice, it's what I would do when I was writing my Persona 3 fanfics is I pulled up the entire script of the game and I analyzed how every single character talked.
Hmm.
And I looked at that and I was like, how would this character say this? Does this character swear? If so, how often? Right?
Hmm.
How can I make it so that it feels right when I'm writing the dialogue?
Yeah.
And I will admit, like, I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal here. I don't think I did a perfect job. I think there were plenty of mistakes that I made
Yeah.
because I was, first learning how to do it. But yeah, at least make the effort.
Yeah. And yes, you can say like, "Oh, this is just like adapted. This is a localization. That's not actually how this character's talk." Shut up. Shut the fuck up. No one knows what the Japanese sounds like. We're just moving on.
Yeah, go with the. I always just go with like whatever the dub would be
Mm.
because I'm writing to an English audience. I'm not writing to a Japanese audience,
Yeah.
right? I think that'd be a bit of a ridiculous consideration to try to put in.
It's a consideration some people make, but that's a different discussion that we really
Um,
don't need to have. I apologize for bringing it up, in fact.
yeah, yeah. It also depends on the property that you're writing for, right?
Mm.
Like if I'm writing, a Persona fanfic that the setting's Japan, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of nuance there that you know you won't get unless you're Japanese.
Mm. We can
That's just
that's
how it
one of those
goes.
things where we can try. That's the best we can do. It's just
Yeah, you can try. But when you take zero consideration, everybody's talking like they're, just a random American, and it's the same random American. They're all just the same random American. It it feels weird.
mm.
It feels really weird. Um, Not so the case for like things that are, Western already. But it really is like dependent on what you're writing for.
Mm.
Like there's some stuff that I'd probably write for that, well, I never really wrote for much Western stuff. If I did, like, I'd probably have a bit of an easier time for it.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. Like for okay, we can acknowledge it a little bit. Okay. So like for adaptational stuff like from the localized from the Japanese, the funny thing about that is you can actually play a little more fast and loose with some of the characterization and language via the characterization of certain characters. Like My Hero Academia is an example I would probably use for that. Like Bakugo probably swears. Like he
yeah,
quote unquote swears in the localization of like damn and hell and shit, but like that is a character who probably swears a lot. He is meant to be incredibly rude and vulgar. And Mirko as another example of just like a character that doesn't take any shit and doesn't really give a shit about like
yeah,
niceties, really. So yeah, if she is sick of someone, she will just swear and tell them to fuck off, kind of thing, which is something I've had her do on a regular basis. because
My
I
Hero
write a
Academia is a
protagonist
really
who is an annoying asshole, gets mopey all the time, and people get sick of his shit.
yeah, My Hero Academia is a really interesting setting to write for because of the way that world is set up,
Yeah.
culturally. Um, because you have a lot of more of a there's more of a kind of a global feeling. Like the entire setting is based around American comic books,
Mm,
right? That was the main inspiration already. So there's
yeah.
already a lot more of like
There's an
leeway
America
with that.
Japan kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. You put it perfectly. American Japan. And that's fine, you know. But if you're writing like Naruto, which is probably the one of the worst offenders
Oh
of
boy,
like
is it? Oh, mm, is. Do you think
yeah,
that's the? Do you think that's the inception point for the in name only character archetype? Because you get
in
that a
name
lot
only.
of like NINO is like an acronym for Naruto in name only. Like this is not Naruto. It's just someone who says this is Naruto, even though they don't act like him in the slightest.
Honestly, thinking it, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's because I feel like out of all of the different genres for like fan fiction, Naruto was one that really like blew up the most. And
Yeah, it's Naruto and Harry Potter.
people,
That's pretty much it.
yeah, and people didn't like writing Naruto as Naruto. That was like the main thrust of it.
It's, honestly, I sympathize, but yeah,
No, I agree. I agree. But I think it also, you know, is where you get from there. Oh, well, I'll just make this character like this or this character like that. And you get a lot of characters in name only. And it,
yeah. I'll just make him cooler and have a sick jacket and make him not dress in orange, and he'll be a little more socially aware. And maybe he actually does train more in chakra control, and also he gets along with the fox this time for reasons that I haven't revealed yet, but I'm going to get. No, you're not.
you know what this is? You know
Yeah,
what this discussion is literally about? Isekai.
pretty much. Yeah. They are
This is the
functionally
character.
isekais without mentioning it. It is just the author inserting themselves. And real talk, I am guilty of this too. You want to go back to
Yeah.
Persona 4 Face Every Shadow? That was my first story that I ever wrote, and I
Yep.
absolutely fucking did that.
Yeah.
And it's not
It's
good,
true. I did it.
but it was
I
also
mean,
an
I
early
did it too.
mistake.
I did it too. So like that's fine.
Yeah,
Um
it's
it
it's something. I want to say it's something every writer is going to do with their first story. Is they're just going to write themselves and not realize it.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, you're gonna put yourself, part of yourself into every character that you make. But you have to learn, don't put too much. Just back off a little bit.
Hmm.
It is your character doesn't have to say everything the perfect way and everybody just responds in the perfect way. Let your character make mistakes and not always be likable. One of the things I really like about ReZero as a series is Subaru is not the author. Subaru makes plenty of mistakes and goes through multiple torture cycles, but he ultimately like grows and becomes a better person over the course of the series in a really satisfying way. But it can hurt to get there because there's times where you will hate him so much,
Hmm.
but you're like, no, but that's the character. This character is
Yep.
flawed. That's
Yep.
fine.
Yep. Oh, yep. That. Uh, writing one of my fics, Scumbag Hero Academia, is just a persistent journey of that, of just a character who is an asshole. Capital A, and possibly two S's and an H and an O and an L and an E, all capitalized. Asshole. and just like a consistent narrative through line of just bit by bit kind of getting dragged through shit, often of his own making from his own inferiority complex, and just going through painful character development just to become
Yeah.
a better person. And every time he has to go through just a little bit of it, someone is there like, oh god, I can't believe we're doing a mopey arc again. Fucking god, I hate this shit so. But that's part. that's 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 character develop. Well, character progression, I should say, of just like they're gonna go through shit sometimes and feel bad, and that's just part of.
It,
Go ahead.
if your character doesn't have like the ability to make like actual mistakes that are actually their fault because of a character flaw they have, your character is never going to change.
Yep.
Because I see like there's a lot of amateur writers who they will write things happening that are bad, that are quote unquote mistakes and quote unquote flaws, but they're not actually character flaws. You can't just force trauma onto your character to like be like that's character development. Like suffering itself is not character development.
Yeah.
Um, it will change the character, that's sure, but if your character doesn't have any flaws, then how they react to things is always going to be in the best way possible that will have no negative repercussions whatsoever.
Yep. Mm. This is a fun episode.
Yeah, we get to talk about writing again.
Yeah.
And maybe next time I can talk a bit more about some world building stuff that I've been working on. But
Cool.
we haven't really talked about how your week has been other than the occasional health stuff. If you want to have anything else you want to add.
Uh. So. I did play a game.
Yeah.
It is called. Oh fuck! Let me get the full name. It is a bit of a slightly long one. It's hard to find the actual full name except in the logo. Uh, Librarian. Tidy up the arcane library.
Okay.
So
I
this is
I can already tell where this is going.
so this is a game where the conceit is you are the librarian for a magical university, and at some point during the night, a fairy came into the library and tossed every single book off of the shelves and into big piles on the floor and on the tables and everywhere. And your job, assigned by the headmaster of the school, is you're gonna fix this shit, and you're not coming out of the library until it's done. If you do it, great, and you'll get a reward of you can have a pizza. Uh, so yeah, there are 3,000 plus books. It's like 3,086 or something, and you have maps at one end of the hall telling you what sections are where in the library, and you just have to pick up the books, put them in the right places. And it is a very brain off kind of game
Hmm.
of just, I am just going to chill and do a somewhat monotonous task that just still feels good and satisfies OCD urges of just putting things in their proper place.
That sounds nice. I gotta tell you, I have been feeling, I felt so satisfied cleaning up my classroom in a similar sense of like, oh, finally, things are organized and not chaotic.
Hmm.
Hooray.
So yeah, that is a neat game. Like it's not just okay. I have to do all of this by hand. It will as you do more, you get perks that let you speed things up a little bit. Like you can every 30 seconds or so, you can uh, pick up a book and immediately, instantly know which shelf it goes to. Or you can pick up a book and, okay, you can every 60 seconds pick up another book from the same series. Just like little speed up conveniences that will unlock over the course of doing this. And it's very relaxing and just kind of neat. And there is an achievement for doing it with none of those speed up conveniences at all, and just kind of doing
So
it by hand.
so you got the achievement, right?
I have not. I
Oh,
have started a run doing that. It, from what I have
okay.
seen, it will take between 9 and 12 hours to do that.
I believe in you. If there's anybody who can do that, it's you.
Yeah, sure. The guy with shitty eyesight. Uh, um, yeah,
You have a patience for the organizing and cleaning sim games, so I know you can do it.
I've done a lot of simulator games that are not generally that kind of game, but they are very just like organizational and just feel nice.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about this is for writing any fantasy story, if you need some like book titles for like just arcane knowledge tomes, there are over 300 different book titles that you can borrow from. Yeah, so that's also a nice feature of like, okay, so I need some like weird bullshit fantasy book titles, so I'm just gonna open the game and look at my completed library. Okay, there we go. There's some. Got some. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, I am getting a phone call right now in the middle of recording.
Hmm.
Uh, keep talking.
Uh, yeah, books are cool. Books are nice. I was sort of just kind of stumbling around. I could just stop talking, honestly, because it's just going to truncate the silence when I edit this, quote unquote, edit this. But I feel like it's more important for everyone if you all understand exactly how long Zero takes on this phone call. Um,
Okay, sorry. That was a phone call that could have been a text. It could have been a text.
okay,
It could have really could have just been a text.
this could have been an email. Okay.
This is just like, hey, a reminder to do this. And like, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
It didn't need to be a call, but thank you.
Oh,
I guess my mom thought I was asleep for some reason. Don't know why.
I mean, let's be real. This time of day on a Sunday for the past few weeks, you've kind of been sort of like, I was napping, and woke up to do the podcast. So it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, but now I'm done with school, so I'm fine. I slept well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
I was exhausted because I was constantly doing above and beyond work and staying late like an hour after every day.
Hmm. Yeah, aside from playing that game, though, I haven't done that much new. Just sort of, yeah,
Yeah, all right.
mm,
Well,
reading some things, but not things that I would talk about on a podcast. Because
yeah.
ew, probably would be the reaction from most people.
I've been reading a series called Matabar that's really good on my Kindle app that I enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got really good world building.
Hmm.
And the main character is a race known as Matabar in this entirely original fantasy setting, and ends up the story ends up taking a turn that is like he's like a mage, but then he also ends up working for like essentially the Secret Service and is a detective investigator, and it goes some really fun places.
Hmm.
It's Matabar by Kirill Klavansky or Kirill Klavansky. So good series. The third book just came out, which is why I was reading it.
I
Oh,
think that's an
oh,
episode. Yeah.
I also read another book. Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just. Um, have you ever read Dungeon Crawler Carl?
I have not, but I keep hearing about it.
Um, the recent book came out, A Parade of Horribles. Um, Dungeon Crawler Carl is one of those lit RPGs that abandons the lit RPG premise because the lit RPG itself is an oppressive system, and not in the sense of like, oh, big S system, as in no, this is like aliens instituting this thing and turning the
Yeah,
suffering of a planet into entertainment.
yeah, it's the system. I'm aware of the
No,
concept. I have read some
no,
stuff.
it's not quite like that though. It retained like it's not system capital S in that same sense of, oh yes, the system came in, connected the multiverse. This is like, no, people are creating these dungeons out of planets so that they can harvest them for resources and kill all the inhabitants in um, brutal games for entertainment that they televise
Hmm.
to the entire galaxy. And Earth just so happens to be one that gets pulled into that. And so the main character,
I'm gonna
Carl,
I'm gonna be real.
is
That is the system that I was talking about. Basically, hey, this alien
it.
thing comes in and is like, hey, we've decided you're boring, so we're gonna make you interesting.
There's much more nuance to it though, and there's much more going for it compared to a lot of the other slop that I've read because I've read a lot of lit RPG slop.
Hmm.
I have. This is good enough that it's actually going mainstream, which is weird. People at my
Yeah,
work are talking to me about it.
yeah.
And like the main character um is Carl, who ends up having to go around in his boxers because of certain things, and he has his cat, Princess Donut, who becomes able to talk and is a lovely character. And it is a very, very funny, but also very like good story with a lot to say and interesting characters and plot and world building. Anyway, that's a really good series, and I think you would should check it out.
Okay. Yeah. Let someone else write the lit RPGs.
Lit
I
RP.
I wish them the best.
I've read a like I said, I've read a lot of lit RPGs, and a lot of them are
Bad.
actually just trash.
Yeah.
Actually, just like this is the worst. I don't like this. If I've gotten to like the end of a book because I was just kind of like skimming it at that point, I was like, I don't like a single character in the story. And then I'm like, I'm never reading any more of this.
Hmm.
Um, Not so with Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is why I recommend it
Hmm.
because it does not do that. Like this, like I feel like the authors that do that focus a lot on the entire system as like, oh yeah, advancing power, it's a good thing. In this case, it's like, yeah, no, screw this entire thing. We're gonna break it. We're gonna bring it all down.
Hmm.
We like there is so much spite in this story.
Hmm.
Like, I'm going to destroy this entire thing. We're going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like, I I do not want to write lit RPGs. I think I have made that very, very clear. I don't hate them as a concept. It's just that fucking I've forgotten the name of it, but the 90% of everything is crap thing is more like 99 for lit RPGs. Um, I do remember one that is the thing that I was like, oh, the system is the thing that made me think of it. Was one I remember reading a while back that I don't know was published officially. I think it might have been because it got they stopped publishing on QQ, so that makes me think. But it was like I think it was called The Jungles of Alabama or something along those lines.
mm,
Where, it's the thing of like aliens come down and are like, yeah, the system is now a thing on your planet and it's going to make life a living hell and everything is going to be disastrous and dangerous. But you get superpowers to an extent and you get to choose what they are. If you're awake when this happens to occur, which is like 3 in the morning. And one of the groups that happened to be awake at the right time to get all of the points that they were allotted was this. hypnosis fetishist commune thing
Hmm.
where it's like everyone's into it and knows what's going on and they're all about it and enjoy this kind of thing. But they all get superpowers, and they are also the kind of people that probably shouldn't get superpowers.
Yeah.
And so you have the protagonist being someone who is generally a decent person and understands the principles behind the thing that he does of like, hey, everyone needs to be okay and consenting about this beforehand. And then you have the people that are very, very happy that they can do this for real. And it just kind of
Yeah.
becomes a psychological thing in the background of I am very concerned about all of the people around me, and I have to move very careful and talk very carefully with people because. Meanwhile, basically the apocalypse because Alabama is now a jungle filled with predators that want to kill everyone. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
But I lost track of it when it stopped publishing on QQ, and I might have to look that up again. I don't know what happened to that, but I would be curious to find out. A lot of promise in
Yeah.
that one.
In the case of Dungeon Crawler Carl, everybody who's inside a building instantly dies because all buildings get compressed down at the same time.
Ooh.
Um, and only those who are outside of buildings can find a stairway to go down into the ground to enter the dungeon where they are forced to live and die for the amusement of billions that are watching.
I was about to say this is why he's in his boxes, right? And then I realized, wait, that would mean he would have had to be outside in his boxes.
Um, he he is forced to endure multiple humiliations and be forced into a certain archetype because the system itself is a sentient AI that is hostile
Mm.
and also weirdly creepy. Um, and yeah, no, the entire thing starts with billions die. Now dance for our amusement monkey. By the way, none of you are supposed to survive the dungeon. You're all supposed to die by this specific floor. To which the answer is no, fuck you, I'm going to break this entire system and kill you all. And I'm going to be smart about it to do it. Because the superpowers given by this so-called system are
You're a bit quiet.
yeah, the superpowers given by the so-called system are hostile and can be turned off because it's only in like specific zones that it actually works.
Mm.
Like they're not real.
Yeah.
You don't really get the powers. The only thing that really matters is your own like understanding of things, your own actual growth. You know,
Mm.
that's like yeah, in certain places, it's interesting.
Mm.
I like what they do with it. I read a lot of RPGs. I don't recommend them often. In fact, most of the time, I just will never mention them because I'm like, this was terrible.
Mm.
Or, like, I like this, but I like this in the way I like my junk food isekai, you know? Where, like, yeah, no, I enjoy this, but
This is
this is a
trash.
thing that I enjoy. Yeah, this is trash. This is junk food. I shouldn't do more of this, but, like, I enjoy this. There's, like,
Right.
only a few that I would actually recommend, and Dungeon Crawl Carl is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah. There have been a few that you have been very enthusiastic about over the years. I do recall your uh, effusive praise for Everybody Loves Large Chests. Um, the
Oh,
Spider
yeah,
one,
yeah.
I'm a Spider, so what? Or whatever it was called originally.
Yeah,
Um,
Kumo Desuka.
and the vending machine one, I think.
The vending machine one I liked as a concept for what it did, and I fell off it
Yeah, it's
because
a concept with no legs, figuratively and literally.
well, it does have like it's better for a short story than a long one, and as a
Yeah.
long one, its cracks really show,
Yeah.
which is a shame. Um, but you know, whatever. Uh, this has been a nice long podcast.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times. We'll talk about writing stuff again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, link in Discord. Links in the description to Discord and Patreon if you feel like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks everybody. We actually said some
Thanks.
useful stuff this time. It's cool.
Yeah. All right. That's all for now.